Truth Rest Your Head by Gene on XFM 104.9 with Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. While I was with Karl in that restaurant, while I was giving him the problems, the old fella with Viagra and the two fellas making love in the cubicle, we came up with a new idea, because he's dumping Do We Need Him, as I say, 'cause he thinks the scientists have got together, they're never going to wipe out a limpet or a slug. They think they're good, but they're not that good. This is the people that are lauded as great minds, and Karl has brought them down.
He's taken issue with them.
Like what? He went, right, great thinkers, and I went, okay, then, Sir Isaac Newton, the father of modern physics. He went, is he the fellow with the apple? I went, yeah. He went, there again, see? Why do I need to know that the Earth sucks us towards it, gravity? He said, if I was floating around, it would be a problem, I'd ask his opinion. I went, what about Einstein? He went, again, I've never needed, and this is what he said, I've never needed MC squared in my life. The fella who invented the video, I watch one a day.
You know what I mean, though? Give credit where credit's due.
Right.
And I think that a lot of this stuff that was invented, like when we were talking about inventions, you know, I started to look in books and that, finding stuff out, and there was some fella who got a mention on an invention site just because he came up with the fishbowl. And it's like, is it that hard?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's clearly a bowl.
Sorry, you're not putting him in the same category as Newton and Einstein, are you?
He was on the same list. Einstein was on there. It was saying about him doing that, and Newton with the apple. And who else was in there? Da Vinci, whatever. He was on there.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah. Is he the one who did Mona Lisa as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. He said it took him 12 years to paint the lips. I don't think that's that good. Like, it takes that long. I saw, you know, when you saw Tony Hart do like an Aborigine man with a elephant in the background in about 3 minutes.
Aborigine. An Aborigine?
Yeah.
Really? An elephant?
So what about some of the big names?
Well,
Just
go on, then,
what's your first reaction when I say some big names from history?
Go on.
Gandhi.
Again, what did he do?
Good point.
Right.
Good point.
Okay.
Good point.
But yeah, all right. Do you understand what he represents?
Well, go on, tell me, and then I'll tell you if he deserves to
But
be
you know,
mentioned.
his whole kind of attitude towards peaceful protest, you know, it's quite a sort of modern idea, you know, very much the forefather of, you know, the 60s movement, you know, where people would sort of sit in, you know, and protest, you know,
Steve. Right, look at the glazed look on his face.
Did I lose him on Gandhi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
Pick
it's
someone
not.
else, do someone else.
Pick someone else. Okay.
alright.
Well, someone you know about that's obviously. Let's think. A great thinker. Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
Right, yeah, he's alright.
Brilliant. Thanks. What about?
What about Jesus Christ?
Well, I'm thinking more your modern day, like your Richard Bransons and that. Who,
Okay.
like, you know...
To be fair, I wouldn't put Branson up there with Gandhi.
Christ, Newton,
Christ.
Einstein.
But why?
Stephen Hawking.
Because he's mainly known for having a beard and a funny jumper. To be honest, you have to start including Noel Edmonds.
That's Noel Edmonds, yeah, you're getting confused there.
But Branson's a businessman, he's not one of the great sort of, you know, scientific minds
I think
or
in
philosophical
time,
thinkers.
right, in time...
Whereas
we've
Clive
worked out-
Sinclair, in his little car, on his way to work, brilliant.
No, but in time, there's certain things, like the apple falling off a tree.
Right.
Whoever was sat there would have gone, that's a bit odd. Do you know what I mean? It's just that they were there first.
But to be fair, Christ instigated 2,000 years of religion based on his teachings. Richard Branson, to be fair, he did launch Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Yeah,
They're
see
not
the
quite
difference?
comparable.
It depends what you get impressed by, doesn't it? Suzanne's always saying...
Maybe Newton was there, he was coming up with a brilliant theory, like, amazing, he was probably inventing the helicopter, right? The apple hit him in the head and he went, the Earth's sucking me, the Earth's sucking me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Could have happened. But, so, you know, my girlfriend's always saying, you know, what impresses you?
Yeah.
You know, because she was saying the other day, do you want to go to Egypt? And I said, no, not really.
No.
She goes, well, don't you want to see the pyramids?
Not interested.
It's like, I've seen them on the telly.
Okay.
You know,
Sure.
are they going to be that much more amazing when you see them
Yeah,
in real
good
life?
point. How did you ever move out of your street in Manchester?
But hang on, no, sorry, I'm interested to know because this is something that that he came up with, and this is someone that loves him and that he respects. So I'm interested to see what was your answer to what impresses you.
I don't think I did answer it. I just said, you know, the odd
You
things.
just said I'm asleep.
little things. Little things like I ran home the other night and said, oh, I've just learnt something today. She goes, go on. And, Lego bricks?
Oh, yeah.
The name came about because some kid's mum, the kid was messing with the bricks, and she said, "Let go of them and come and have your dinner."
Play a record.
It's got to be rubbish. It's got to be
Play
rubbish.
It's always rubbish, isn't it?
They're Scandinavian for a start, so...
Scandinavian.
there is no... Let go.
Smile upon your face.
Coldplay, God Put a Smile Upon Your Face on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington.
Reading the paper yesterday, they were talking about the fact that Blair has been, I think, he's been in Greece discussing EU matters.
Oh, yeah.
And they used the old Trojan horse analogy to say, here's a particular policy, and it seems like they're trying to sneak in some kind of dubious idea.
Disguised as something else.
Exactly. And it's always struck me, ever since I was first introduced to the Trojan horse theory, I never understood how it come about. Do you know what I mean?
So, Karl has got a frown on him, like a thing I haven't seen.
Yeah.
Karl, do you know what
Tony Blair is the Prime Minister.
You know what the Trojan horse was?
Go on.
Have you come across
it was
this
a
before? Have
siege
you heard of it before?
Wasn't that ascot or anything? Go on.
Well, the Trojan horse, what happened was, it's a famous kind of Greek story, about the fact that, the Greeks...
In olden times, Karl, olden times, specifically.
The 70s.
Yeah.
The Greeks laid siege to Troy for 6 years.
Waiting.
Basically, things had got out of hand. I think the Trojans had done something with Helen, and someone else was annoyed. Anyway, it all got very complicated. It got out of hand, and the
the
Greeks-
Helen, the one with the mashed up face, because they used to use it to launch ships.
Anyway, the Greeks laid siege to Troy for 6 years, right, and they weren't getting anywhere. They were outside the gates, they were saying, let us in, they weren't, they were blah, blah, blah. So what they did was, they all disappeared, they
They wanted to get in and kill everyone.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why they wouldn't be letting in.
but they couldn't get inside the city walls. So what they did was, they left as a gift for the Trojans, they left an enormous wooden horse, okay, as a gift, and then they all buggered off.
Like 40 foot high, 50 foot long, a big,
Big wooden
an
horse.
arc of a
And
horse.
the Trojans wheeled it into the city.
So that's nice.
Thought, what a lovely gift.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, who was hiding inside? But an entire Greek army. They leapt out, killed everyone in their sleep.
Yeah.
Alright, and that's where the famous idea of a Trojan horse has come from, sneaking something in, disguised as something else.
Alright.
Alright? Okay?
So if you ever... Yeah.
He doesn't really understand, does he?
No, but to be honest, nor do I.
Well, this is the problem I've always had with this. Because I don't understand who comes up with the idea. I mean,
But I can't think that was the best idea.
well, no.
There must be other ways. If they come up with that, how long did it take them to go? When they said... One fellow said, whoa, can I have a word?
Go on,
General.
yeah.
I've got an idea.
Yeah.
Build a big horse, right? Hide inside it. And then... I know what you're thinking, they won't let us in even in the horse.
Yeah.
Leave it as a gift.
Brilliant. Right, who are you? That's the best idea. Are you the guy that came up with, why don't we get a giant bra and twing everyone over the walls?
Yeah. Let's get a 100-foot ruler, and like at school we used to like flick the teacher's ass with like right, I could flick you over one at a time.
Right.
On this giant
Thanks
ruler.
for your idea. It's on the table.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of our suggestions on the way.
What about 1 million elastic bands tied together? Yeah, and you all hold it down, and then I just let you go.
Right.
And you all ping over, and then you kill him in their sleep.
You're the best tactician we've got, are you?
What? The other thing is, right? These people for some reason open the door.
Well, I don't understand. Firstly, there's suddenly, the army that's laid siege to them for 6 years has disappeared. In
Yeah.
their place, an enormous gift of a giant wooden horse.
Oh, they probably don't want to kill us now, but what they've done is they've built us
Yeah, they
a
brought us
horse.
a great gift. Presumably there was a giant kind of card or something,
Yeah.
something for you, sorry about the laying siege and everything, forgive you.
Yeah.
Here's an enormous gift, here's an enormous Trojan horse. We know it's what you've always wanted.
We're not inside it. Why did
Exactly.
they write that?
Yeah.
That's suspicious.
But it's-
well,
I mean-
wheel it in anyway.
But in terms of it as an idea initially, I mean, we're going to give them a gift. Well, what should we do? We could bake an enormous quiche, be inside that. We could have an enormous soap on a rope as a gift. It's the fact that it's an enormous horse, an enormous wooden horse as a gift anyway. I don't know if this was a popular gift at the time, but it's also the stupidity of the Trojans saying, brilliant, I've always wanted an enormous wooden horse. Well, what are we going to do with it? Where are we going to
wheel
put
it in anyway. Leave
Just
it.
wheel it in
Wheel
anyway.
it in. Let's go to sleep. Let's worry about it tomorrow.
Exactly.
Let's yeah. But it's this idea of someone going, right, is this definitely the best idea? And they go, yeah, and they look to the carpenter.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, we've got to get wood.
We've got to get on with it. Well, you haven't put a door in.
Yeah.
How are we gonna get out
Doesn't
there?
it look like a horse?
It is.
It's the worst horse I've ever seen. Why, it looks like a cow.
Wow, yeah, the udder's where we hide. There's a horse.
It's got no tail.
That's the rope that you climb up.
But I don't know if it's one of those things where, again, because we kind of learn these things at school, that somewhere along the line, the truth of it has disappeared, and we're...
Well, I imagine it's lost a bit in translation.
Yeah.
Because, in Eohippus in Greek means a giant tank.
Right,
So that actually was a Sherman.
Yeah.
And it burst through and it shot them all.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
of course, down the years, they've tried... Look at Carl's face. Look at Carl's face. If everyone on webcam... Carl, just keep that face and look up to the camera. Right? Just... Right, get a look at that now. Play a record, Carl. Educating Carl, we should bring that back.
We should bring that back.
Yeah? What do you want to learn about next week?
We've told you about the Trojan horse.
Know anything about any freaks?
Crazy beat there on XFM 104.9. Right, we're gonna do Educating Ricky instead of Rockbusters.
Incidentally, on the subject of Rockbusters, we've just had an email from Phil. He says, I could do with this week's rather shoddy array of prizes, as I'm doing a car boot sale tomorrow and need a bit more tat to fill the table. Probably send it
we
to
might,
him.
we might as well do it anyway.
Yeah.
But Educating Ricky, it was a feature. Well, actually, about a year ago, I started a feature called Educating Carl because we found out he had 1 E at O level at history, and I'd educate him on things like Rasputin, things that I thought he'd be interested in. You know, Winston
Che
Churchill,
Guevara.
some of the greats, some scientific facts, and then I said it's your turn, and he started telling me about people born without legs. Some people have got a funny eye. There's a woman whose tongue's longer than her arm. And really, you know, turning the screw on education.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what he's got for me today. Maybe a dog born a cat. Let's have a look.
We've done that one, we've done that.
Is there, because often we should point out there's sometimes a crossover between Educating Ricky and Cheeky Freak of the Week,
Yeah.
just in terms of subject matter.
Yeah, so we've done Cheeky Freak of the Week, we've done all the freaks. What have we done with the Freak of the Week? There's a dog. There was a woman that had the back legs of a dog. What was last week?
It was the girl who was born with 4 eyes, 2 mouths and 3 legs.
Sure.
You weren't that impressed, so I thought if we've got to that and it's not impressing you.
We are a tough audience, I
Let's
admit.
spin it, let's move on.
Is there
Yeah.
a jingle for Educating Ricky?
Educating Ricky, oh god. You've told me Educating Ricky. Very similar to some of the other jingles I've done.
Well, they're made by the same people.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Okay, what have you got,
it's just, I mean, Educating Ricky is just stuff that I learn in the week and I think that's interesting. I keep it up here and then I share it with you, right? And, some interesting stuff. One of them, right? You know, Mount Everest.
Go on. I need more.
Right, well, there's a problem,
Yeah.
because people are leaving rubbish up there and that. And, like, people, whoever owns it is saying, is saying, forget this, they're leaving a mess, and all that. But do you know why it's called Mount
Sorry,
Everest?
what was that? That's one, is it? That's one. There's rubbish on Mount Everest.
No,
How many people go up there?
Are we talking about people dumping old tellies and washing machines?
Who's fed up? The Yeti? What are you talking about?
No, I mean, that isn't what I'm educating you, I'm just telling, this is part of the story, I'm just telling you.
Just a bit of context for you.
Like, they're leaving loads of rubbish up there.
Well, they're not leaving loads of rubbish up there, are they?
No, they are, they apparently.
Not like
right
prams and washing machines and seagulls flying everywhere.
I don't know. I
Anyway,
don't know. But anyway, do you know why it's called that? You know why it's called Mount Everest?
why it's called Mount Everest?
I know the mount bit.
It's because it's a large mount, and if you climb it, by the time you get to the top, you need to have a rest. And that isn't the educating bit. I'm just telling
Well, it's
you.
not true.
Well, we'll leave that.
Well,
right?
no, Carl. In the name of everything holy, do you think that anyone named it because you have to have a rest when you've climbed it?
Well, we'll see. We'll see what people say on email. But
Well, it's definitely not.
But anyway, that's one thing that I kind of thought, that's interesting. I'll remember that. I'll teach Ricky that, so you've learnt that. Right, now, are you familiar with this thing that they can do if you're dead, right? No, not if you're dead. It's like if you're ill and you know you're going to die, right?
I don't know what this is anymore.
Extraordinary.
Have a rest.
Extraordinary.
Himalaya. What?
Listen, this is an interesting fact. Come on. If you're ill but you know you're going to die.
Yeah, you can have this thing done in Detroit where you get put in a fridge.
Right.
And if they work out, what's wrong with you in 20 years' time, they go, right, that fella is in the fridge. He had that. We can sort it. Let's get him out. And they sort you out.
Yeah. Is this the first time you've come across this idea?
Yeah, I read it the other day. I didn't know
You've
about
never
it.
heard of this before?
It's called
It's
cryogenics.
cryogenically preserved.
It's good, isn't it?
They put you at sort of like sub-zero temperatures, so they stop all cellular activity.
So do you stop aging at that point?
Yeah, it's suspended animation.
So, well, what's the law on it, right? Because say if I had something, right,
Yeah,
and I said, oh, put me in a fridge, and when you've got the cure and that, wheel me out, sort me out. Say if they did that,
yeah,
and it was like 40 years,
yeah.
and in 40 years' time they get a cure for me.
Yeah.
Would I have to stay with Suzanne? Because she'd be 70.
Do you mean what are the rules? Should you be allowed to date a younger woman?
Well, it's not fair, is it? It's like good news, we sorted you out, but...
I don't think she'd mind. I reckon she'd have the best 40 years of her life.
Yeah. And plus, they're never going to find a cure for what ails you.
That is genius. That is brilliant. You come out, you're cured, and you go, oh no.
I love the fact that's what you'd be lying there. If you could think while he was in that state, you'd be thinking, oh god.
She's losing her looks.
Yeah.
Just, oh dear.
But everything else as well, like, my job wouldn't be here.
No.
No. Although the figures would have gone up a little bit.
Flat's probably gone or knocked down or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Most of my family would be dead.
Yep.
So what's the point? What? How do you know about it? Who's done it?
Well, famously Walt Disney, apparently. I mean, Walt Disney actually did die, but had his body preserved so that should they one day be able to bring back people from the dead,
they need Walt Disney.
Hang on, who do we have?
But with him, nothing is going to change, because when he comes out, Mickey Mouse will still look the same.
Sure.
And plug and all that.
Play a record! I don't know where your mind is! Play a record! It's brilliant, you just say words! It's the have a rest!
Charles Darwin, of course, once said, I cannot persuade myself that a beneficent and omnipotent God would have created parasitic wasps with the express intention of their feeding within the living bodies of caterpillars. His point being that, creatures and their reproductive cycles are so complicated, so intricate, so bizarre, that alone is proof of the non-existence of God. Where do you stand on that?
It's pretty weird. We talked about it ages ago, didn't we, about the wasp that has a thing growing in it and all that.
Lays its egg in a spider.
Yeah, and then the spider goes mad, doesn't it?
You fucking can't lay your eggs in me, you fucking stripy wanker. Goes absolutely fucking mad.
It is weird.
What's going on my arse in a couple of what you fucking...
I don't know how it found out that that's what it had to do. That's the amazing thing, isn't it?
Well, it didn't, did it?
It just did it.
No, I know, but when I say found out, I mean it just did it.
Well, it's like mimicry, when they say mimicry, that there's a poisonous snake, and then a snake comes along that looks a bit like it, that's not poisonous, but people go, oh, careful, it's poisonous. That snake didn't go, I'm gonna strain, and I'm gonna try and look like Scary over there. Some were born that looked a bit like Scary, and they survived.
Yeah.
It's just being chosen.
But that's changing now, isn't it? The fact that, like, when them frogs came out that are dangerous, they were just dangerous.
What frogs came out? But
There's some frogs in the jungle somewhere that were, like, pretty dangerous.
Yeah, from Mattel, dangerous frogs in the jungle.
yeah.
But people didn't know. that they were dangerous. And they were going about killing loads of stuff. Anyway.
They weren't going, they don't go around killing loads of stuff.
Nature said, this is a bit unfair, make them orange. So then, the frogs that were orange were dangerous, but you got a warning. It was a bit more fair. Nature said, if they're going to go about being dangerous, make them orange, make them stand out. In a jungle, orange stands out in all the green, right? So people went, there's an orange frog, stay away. Then, over time, nature went, right, what's happened here now? Everyone knows the orange frog's dangerous. Birds aren't eating it because they know it's dangerous. People are avoiding it. They don't even need the poison, it's just the orange it needs. So now you've got a load of frogs that are orange, not even deadly. But people go, is that a deadly orange one, or is it a friendly one? Well, best to leave it.
Again, he's explained my point, but took 30 times as long over it.
But listen, let me finish what I was going to say. But what's interesting with all that is, evolution has taught stuff to lie. Because that orange frog isn't deadly, it's going about like it's the big I am.
Yeah.
You could squash it with your hand. You can't do anything. But evolution...
It's swaggering around.
It's made it lie. So lying is part of evolution.
But it's not lying, is it?
What do you mean?
Wow.
It's got no
But the
poison.
interesting thing about, like a toad that secretes a poison is that often it's no good for it as an individual, but it's good for the species as a whole, because someone will come along and chew it. Now, that toad might well die, but that fox is sick, and it doesn't eat another one. So it's sort of saving the species.
Yeah, but at the same time, the dodo tasted rubbish. Everybody said, don't eat one of them again.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
I have read it. I've read that they don't taste very nice. But it didn't
Why
stop
doesn't it
dying
taste
out.
very nice?
It's
Why
just in the same way that chicken's nicer than duck. You can't all have nice tasting flesh. Pork's alright, but I prefer beef.
Point proven, good night.
So, what I'm saying is, with the dodo, it did taste horrible, but everyone wanted to give it a go. Meanwhile, it's different people trying it, so it died out in the end anyway. So your theory of a frog being poisonous and a fox going, there, that's horrible, I won't eat another one of them. Then you get another fox trying one, and another fox. They don't all have a word with each other, do they? They go, I had a rotten frog the other night. So it's pointless. It's a pointless exercise.
What I like is your image of nature. This idea that sort of, in your head, there's Mother Nature sat around like a boardroom table, making these decisions. People are coming in, oi, frog, what's been going on? Well, I've been poisoning people. Why? What about you? It's just, you just picture everything as one large
Your confusion is that you still think of evolution has a will. You still believe that things are striving to be something else, as opposed to surviving if they adapt or change. I just want to go through some of the wonderful diversity of nature, some of the incredible feats of the animal kingdom, in a way. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Alligators and old people have something in common. They can hear notes only up to 4,000 vibrations a second.
I don't know what you're meant to do with that information. When's that ever come in handy? When a band's getting together, they don't go, no, we're after crocodiles and old people. What sort of tune do they like? It's pointless.
You're not impressed, okay. Scientists have applied electrodes to the pleasure centre in a rat's brain. The rat pressed a lever 48,000 times over a full day in order to receive that shock that seemed to him pleasurable, choosing the simulator instead of having water or food or sex. So it chose that virtual pleasure, well, not virtual pleasure, it gave it real pleasure, but an artificial stimulus rather than the real thing, like food or water
It
or
never
sex.
ate and had water. It never had a change.
No, it was addicted. It loved this electrode. It was giving it just made it feel good. It was getting as much pleasure from that as the real thing, from sex or food.
Yeah, but with any pleasure, you get sick of it, don't you? If you have too much of it.
Well, it had 48,000 hits in a day.
But I like having a Twix. But if I have more than 4 a week, I go, I've ruined that little pleasure I used to like.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, what did you do the second day?
No,
Did you go
but
near the machine the second day?
No.
There you go then.
No. But what you're saying is this, right? That Twix is failing to give you pleasure on that 5th Twix, but this succeeds every time because it's literally pleasure. It hits the part of the brain that says this is pleasurable.
So,
But
my pleasure nerve
that you're talking about in my head. It lights up when I have Twix.
I don't think it ever lights up.
Right.
I don't think you've got a pleasure nerve.
But it lights up when I have a Twix.
Right.
It lights up if there's some chicken, right? It lights
Fuck
up if
me.
there's
What a miserable cunt he is.
all loads of things.
Chicken and Twix.
That's it. That's all he lives for.
No.
Hang yourself, mate.
So, what you're saying is, if I had that device that the rat's got, I'd just sit there, wouldn't I, hitting it, thinking, I can't be bothered going to the shop for a Twix, I'll just hit this button.
Yeah. Think of this. So aggressive is the horned frog of Argentina that people believe that if the frog bites the lip of a horse, the horse will die. Actually, the frog's mouth contains no poison. It earned its fearsome reputation because it attacks animals many times its size. What do you think of a frog
It's
attacking
ridiculous.
a horse?
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why that would happen. Why is it getting upset with a horse? Of all the things for a frog to be getting cocky with, them two should never even meet.
Why?
Because it's not. I mean, fights are normally over something, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you have a fight with someone, you're in my yard, or you're fighting over something. A horse and a
The fact
frog.
that he immediately goes back to the 1930s.
Yeah.
You're in my yard.
But a horse and a frog. How did that disagree?
What are they squabbling over?
I don't understand what they've got in common. I don't understand it. I bet that's only happened once. It's a rare incident. Someone's to put that in a book. I can't imagine it. That's happening a lot. That horses are being bit by frogs all over the shop.
This is the moment we've all been looking forward to.
Go on. Do you want to tease them with the prizes?
No. Not really, because they might not bother phoning in. Or it's not a phone, or is it? It's an email.
Alright.
Okay, well, a quick reminder then, we've got to the office. I don't want people to think that we'll just keep plugging the office DVD. We've got nothing else to give away.
No one gives anything away.
No, that's
just
why.
hanging around in Carl's little room.
Did you get a guy from HMV did you get a guy just nick these from HMV and carry them out?
beard and the ponytail.
Was that the story? So we got the Office DVD, obviously. We got the remix, XFM's remix album, Volume 2. That's sort of remixes of various tunes. Quite a good little compilation album here. One of those kind of the best Coldplay, Travis, Oasis, blah 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 albums in the world ever. And
Let's play some of them, 'cause there's nothing in the library.
Exactly. Have a look on there. See what
4
you fancy.
Alanis Morissette, 9 Catatonia. I just counted that.
But the big one, the big star prize that you're all playing for is, of course, the DVD widescreen version of Children of the Corn, Stephen King's horror film. Lest we forget, it's got Peter Horton as the star. so look forward to that. We're going to give Shadow away separately, are we? We're going to do that separately?
Yeah.
We'll give away the DJ Shadow tickets at a separate.
Right, so we're playing for those DVDs and CDs, and what
It's
we're
an
going
email
to do...
competition, don't bother phoning in.
Email, yeah, the phone lines are lighting up a bit, so put the phone down, get the computer started up,
Yeah.
and it's ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, if you know the answers to these, right? And the way it works, we did it last week, but if you didn't hear it, I'll give you some initials, and like a bit of a cryptic clue. So, and you work out who the band is or the artists, right? It's always a band or an artist. It's not any TV programs and that. So, say like last week we had S, didn't we? And it was better than the average homeless person, and that was Supertramp. Right, so it's not always XFM music, it can be anything. And there's 3 of them.
They've got to get all 3, have they?
You've got to get all 3 and email in.
How long this intro so far has taken.
Yeah, but here we go then, right? First initials, LR.
LR.
LR,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And the cryptic clue is,
You should have thought it through. You should have thought it out before you came in.
Yeah, cryptic clue.
You got it?
Yeah.
I'll take that book to the toilet with me.
I'll take that book to the toilet with me.
Yeah.
LR.
LR.
I'll take that book to the toilet with me.
And don't shout out if you know the answer, because...
No.
No idea, Carl. No idea.
Right, okay, so there's 1. Right, the second one, FL.
FL.
This one's actually been emailed in as a suggestion.
Okay.
That person who's done that, don't email in, because you're disqualified from the comp. So
I'd love him to be a teacher.
So-
it would be great, wouldn't it? Just to see him one day. Can't we do that? Can't we get you a placement somewhere for you to teach history to sort of like 14-year-olds?
I think science, Rick.
Science would be good. Yeah. I'll tell you what. You got a lot of just quickly for me, Carl. Explain. Say. What can we get him to explain that everyone learns as a kid? Science.
Photosynthesis.
Right. So FL, right? FL are the letters, and the cryptic clue: blow the candles out before you eat the cake.
Blow the candles out before you eat the cake.
Yeah. Blow the candles out before you eat the cake. The letters there, FL.
Alright, we've got LR, we've got FL.
Yeah. And finally, the third one, NS.
Hold on, how many have they got to get?
3.
Don't worry, there's no more after this, Rick.
Right? NS. How can I wash up in something shaped like that? Right? That's one of mine. So very quickly recap, just in case we've missed any. LR is the first one. LR. I'll take that book to the toilet with me. Cryptic clue. We had FL. Blow the candles out before you eat the cake. And the final one, NS. How can I wash up in something shaped like that? If you think you know the bands, you just email in ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk. You win the DVDs, the CDs, and that's it.
He's great, isn't he? I could sit here and watch him all day do this. Wow.
So ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
And we'll give the answers out just before, we finish, because then we'll keep them upped.
Alright.
Oh, just briefly, this is module 4A, natural history. Yeah. Just briefly explain evolution. Since natural selection, origin of the species, Darwin. Just briefly describe.
That's the monkey thing.
Competition answer time, is it, Carl?
Yeah, we did this like about an hour ago.
Rockbusters.
Rockbusters.
With Karl Pilkington.
Yeah, I gave you some initials. The initials sort of made up a band. We had LR, we had NS, we had FL.
Well, give us the clues. Give us the clues in the answers.
What?
Right, so LR, the clue was, I'll take that book to the toilet with me.
What's
the
the
answer?
answer?
Lou Reed.
Lou Reed.
Good.
That's very good. That's very good, Carl. Well done.
Alright, okay, next one, FL, blow the candles out before you eat the cake. Yeah, we just play them. Flaming Lips.
There we are.
Okay, and the final one was NS, how can I wash up in something shaped like this?
Yeah.
That was NSYNC. Yeah.
NSYNC.
NSYNC, it'd be a bit...
NSYNC.
If you had a sink, you wash up in a sink.
Yeah.
Shaped like an N, you'd be like, oh, have I got everything out?
Has anyone got that? Wow.
Right,
well, no, there are right answers, I have to say, Carl. You've done very well. It was an enormous response. I'm just going to click on one of these emails randomly. I'm not even going to look. Who we got here? We've got... Kath Turner is the winner. Kath Turner gets those great DVDs and CDs, including
watching Children of the Corn tonight.
Children of the Corn.
She was going out, but I imagine she's going to phone a few friends and say I can't come out, I'm ill.
Exactly.
They go, you're not watching Children of the Corn. I go, no.
And we've learned as well that there are about 5 other sequels to Children of the Corn. So maybe we'll give those.
Cooper Temple Claws. Who needs enemies? Good question, lads. Nobody. This is XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Oh, they should print a little book of those. They're great. Oh, how you can relate any song or artist to anything else.
Easy.
Joyful.
Easy. Well, yeah, so, me and Carl went out, for a beer, and it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, enjoy
We started off, and you met my mate Robin, didn't you?
Yeah.
And some of the stories. Do you want to tell Steve some things about Robin that you
Robin,
learned?
do you know him well?
Yes.
Well, do you know about his worm problem as a kid?
Go on.
Right. What I can remember is he had worms as a kid. Not sure how you get him. He never answered me. He was getting a bit touchy about it.
Right.
This is like the second time I met him. I think he was a bit annoyed that Ricky told me about his problem.
What now? Now straight away, you not being there, instinctively, what do you think went on with this story about worms?
My suspicion is rather like when you told a group of people that Robin had once suckled milk from a cow's udder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you mention that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. My suspicion is that, like the cow story, the worm story is not true.
But
and
why would he get so sort of uppity about it?
Well, imagine
it's not true.
Imagine if that wasn't the first time he'd done it. Imagine if he did that every single time he was with somebody for the first time and Robin was just met them. He will tell that story to anyone.
But they do say there's no smoke without fire.
Oh, Robin! I also told him...
That's a fable.
I also told him that the way Robin cured these worms was because the doctor told his mother, right, to hold a piece of ham or cheese near Robin's anus so the worms would come out for the food, and he believed it.
I'll tell you why, though.
I said to Robin used to sit on Spam to try and get the worms out, and he believed it.
But Steve, right, do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago where there was some bloke in the army? He went away to somewhere, Vietnam or whatever, he was messing about in the woods.
Messing about in the wood. Shouldn't he have been fighting?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and he walked through some lake, and I think he'd cut his toe or something on something, and some worm of some sort crawled in the gash.
Yeah.
And it was in his body, and the doctor said, we've got to get this out of your body. So what they did was, they said, right, the thinnest part or something of your body that things can crawl through is on the top of your head. So they wrapped
Where the skull is.
So they wrapped some bacon.
No, they didn't!
They did. That's
oh,
that
right.
thing.
So
Everyone,
he's gone in by the toe. So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
there was a reason for it. And it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
As ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Carl seems to have forgotten.
because the worm was in his body, and they said everyone likes to smell the bacon.
Oh,
including
even a
worms.
worm. Even a Vietnamese lake worm. They
love bacon.
Remember last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little
You're
fella.
changing it now. You weren't having any of it last
Right,
week.
hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of a soldier.
worm.
A little, like, maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the
It runs
body,
amok.
they strapped bacon to his head.
That is great. This doctor.
And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling.
Oh, God, what, the worm or the bloke?
The bloke.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, I hope someone knows the story. And
Right.
it was about 3 years ago, I reckon.
Okay.
And, yeah, it did work.
GI bacon.
So this is why when
And so what, the worm burrowed out of his head to get the bacon?
get to the bacon.
Right. That's great.
So this is why when Robin was telling his story, I was a little bit disappointed if it wasn't true.
Right.
Because in a way,
You know Robin's never been to Vietnam.
No, but what do you really think that Robin, well, as Robin said at the time, Carl, why would I sit on ham then tell Ricky Gervais? It's a very good point.
because if you was a kid, you do daft things like that as a kid.
Right.
You know
It's
what I
the
mean?
telling Ricky Gervais, though.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
oh, bless him.
Okay.
And then anyway, Robin left, and I tried to chase him, but he got away, and he knows that we, and then we had a few pints, and then, Carl embarked on some of the greatest stories ever told. Can you tell the story about your dad?
Let me run it. I haven't spoke to him all week, so let me run it by him.
Okay, play records.
Because
What we got?
we've got one of Steve's.
Yeah, well, bizarrely enough, this comes from the Teachers 2 soundtrack, the soundtrack to the current TV series. There's a slight whiff of nepotism in the air.
Yeah.
Rick, would you like to explain why?
Well, that's why you're doing it, though my girlfriend worked on it. But
Yeah.
you were going to play this anyway, weren't you?
Well, I was actually. Bizarrely enough, I was going to play some I Am Clute, and this is from, as I say, the Teachers soundtrack. And this is called To You. It's a good track.
There is a Slim Shady in all of us. That was Eminem, XFM 104.9. Steve.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, because Carl, I'm probably thinking, he likes to have a little dig every so often about, my success with the ladies. No, Carl, I'd tell you, you'd have been proud of me last night. No, listen, you'd have been proud of me. Because I was walking back from the shops, I was carrying 2 cans of weak lager. It was Friday night, Rick.
Yeah.
Time to go a bit crazy.
Yeah.
And there's this woman coming the other way, who must have been sort of 50, 55, just standing on the street, dressed in kind of like rhinestone cowboy style outfit. Really weird, never seen it before.
Parton. Is it Parton?
It wasn't Dolly.
No.
And she's just staggering down the road, like, just shouting, and some truck drove by, and she just went, "Oi, come over here! Come over here!" And the car just drove by, whatever, and she walked into me, and she saw me come in, and she saw the beer in my hand, she couldn't believe her luck, and she stopped, and she tried to stop me, and I sort of stepped one way to try and go past her. She stepped there and blocked my way, so she blocked the other way, and she went, come here, like trying to motion, and I was really scared. It was
You looked around and thought, beggars can't be choosers.
Well, but then, for a minute, I was thinking, well, I mean, it's Friday night. I'm in a mood to make whoopee. But, I thought it's probably best to avoid it. And I actually managed to, run away and avoid her, and she just kept shouting at me as I was running down the road, come with me, come with me. But I legged it. But what I was thinking, it was like some kind of like sort of Hansel and Gretel nightmare. Do you know what I mean? Like an old lady in your way.
You're going there, and there's loads of other people that look just like you.
Exactly.
They're getting very, very thin.
We've been here for years.
In chains. Yeah.
But I thought you'd be proud of me. You know, that was a woman on a plate,
So to speak.
and I just turned it down.
And
Exactly. You see.
You
So
went home,
not
you
so
went,
desperate.
He got in and went, what have I done?
Seeing her again tonight, then.
Well, I'm just going to hang around by the offie, see what happens. You know.
Now, Carl, you haven't told us about your holiday yet. You were meant to do it last week and you didn't. You started on this, but we didn't have time because we had to do monkey news about a monkey who was a director who cared about lighting and stuff.
Is there more monkey news this week?
Is it as? Okay. Is it real monkey news? Did it happen, or is it mostly embellishment in your round little head?
It's proper stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
proper stuff.
So holiday. Where did you go on holiday?
Sardinia.
Good.
Yeah, it's alright, yeah. Nice food and that, it's important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And nice beaches and what have you.
Excellent.
Always like a nice long beach to walk down.
Yeah.
But, so we're having a nice walk, right? You know, nudists do me head in.
Sure.
Right.
Not a problem though, is it? It's not like being scared of spiders where they might jump out under the kitchen sink at you. You know what I mean? It's not a big problem having your head done in by nudists.
Yeah, but it just annoys me, it sort of ruins the day a little bit. Because it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Right. Take your clothes off if you feel uncomfortable. It's much more relaxing.
Yeah, but, well anyway, right, so I'm walking along the beach, right? Lovely long beach, might be here, you know, watching the sea, picking up shells and that.
And what are you wearing? What's your natural beach club?
When he says picking up shells, I imagine he's on all fours going, like that, you know what I mean, looking at things. Just like washing his nuts in the sea to get them tasty.
Yeah, going into the sea and then kind of shaking himself and all the water flies off.
Yeah.
I've just got, you know, flip-flops on, pair of shorts, and like a little light shirt.
Sure.
So anyway, walking along, and Suzanne goes, "Oh look," right? And there's this woman, German, I think, coming out of the.
How can you tell she was German? Underarm hair.
I'll get to it. Forget the underarm hair. She came out. It looked like she was smuggling seaweed.
I'm going to burst! Oh God!
And the funny thing is, right, she,
smuggling seaweed! Oh God! She was a bit hairy down there, was she?
Mental. I felt bad because I hadn't had a shave for 2 days, right? Looked at her, it was ridiculous. She might as well have kept her trunks on. It was just like she's wearing furry trunks, right? So anyway, so I'm walking around.
Yeah, go on then.
So Suzanne's like, "Oh look," and I'm like, "Oh, not again," you know, because every time we go away, there always seems to be one of these.
Is she by herself, this woman?
Well, the weird thing was, she was with her husband, right, but he had shorts on, he was happy, right, but every time, like, because I walked past her, and he sort of ran off, because he's embarrassed. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing normal about it. What can he do? He can't go, "Alright mate," because he knows it's odd, right?
How old was he? Sorry, how old was she?
It's hard to tell when someone hasn't got clothes on. You know what I mean? They always look older, don't they, when they haven't got clothes on anyway. But I'd say she was about 40, 41.
Okay. Right.
So I walked past, and the annoying thing is, she got there on a bike, right? No clothes on, little pair of boots next to the bike. So if you can wear boots, just pop some shorts on. You know what I mean? That takes more effort for me, putting boots on. So put the shorts on, right? So anyway, so the husband kept running off. I walked past, and I'm getting annoyed because I'm saying, well, we've got to walk past them again on the way back.
I know the fact that they're scuttling away when Carl walks past. Like when you lift up a bit of sort of iron sheeting in the woods and loads of mice run away. Yeah. It's like whenever Carl goes, that nudists run away.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So we sort of come walking back and what have you, and you know, I have another look and what have you, and he runs off again.
Why are you having another look if it offends you so much?
Oh, you might as well just have a look. You know what I mean? It's just putting it on show and what have you. But the interesting thing was that I just wondered whether the husband
If the husband were nude, you'd looked at his tackle. Because remember, when you went to see those two strippers, and it was a woman and a man, and they whipped their shorts off, you said you looked at his tackle first.
I think any bloke would.
Well...
You would. You just check it out, it's natural, isn't it? You just go, oh, right. So it is normal or whatever. Because you don't know if you know what I mean? You don't know if what you've got's right until you see someone else's. No, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so, but he got us talking, because I was... Then, as soon as I saw her, sort of, today's been ruined a bit, so I'm walking up the beach... Walking up the beach with Suzanne going, how does it happen? Do you know what I mean? Why do people do this? What fun are they getting out of it and what have you? And, I just was thinking, is there any chance that fella, right, didn't even know that she was a nudist until they went away? Do you know what I mean? Because I said to Suzanne, say if I met Suzanne, it's like we're getting on, yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then you go off on holiday and you go, you haven't got much luggage. And she's like, no, it's fine, this is plenty, and I'm thinking that's weird. And then we go down the beach and she whips her knickers off. I'd be annoyed, but there's nothing I could do. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So I'm just wondering whether that's what happened to this fella. Every time someone came walking up, he was like, oh god, this is embarrassing. And he kept nipping off.
Yeah.
Finding something else to do.
Look at some shells.
So I'm wondering, Rick, if at some point, maybe today or in future shows, we should get a nudist, one of those official nudist spokespeople, because all these nudist organisations, get them on the phone, justify themselves to Karl, because, in his mind, they are, what would you say, weirdos, freaks? I
don't quite get it. I was reading something in one of the supplements last weekend, and some journalist went round to some, whatever you call it, some resort or whatever for nudes and that. And it's just...
Were they playing volleyball?
Well, the only thing was, bowls.
Why is that annoying?
Well, don't play a sport where you got to bend over.
Okay, so quiz time. I know everyone's been looking forward to this. Which quiz is it?
Well, we're
this
going to
week?
play along because he's done Songs of Phrase, where he cuts up bits and pieces from records. You have to guess the title or the artist, and makes a well-known phrase, i.e. a phrase that we've said a lot. And the challenge is that me and Steve have got to try and work out what it is as well before we will tell you the phrase, but let me just see if I can guess. Play it.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Right, I know what that is.
I didn't hear it. Can you play it once more for me?
I know what that is. Right, it's why don't they play the game of swing ball? Because that's what he said when he turned on and saw people in wheelchairs playing tennis.
And his point was...
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Oh dear.
That is so naughty. This show's been a bit naughty, I think. I don't know what's happened to us. I think it's like sort of end of term sort of madness, but I think we've got to calm down here. We've been a bit naughty there. We said, bloke with two dicks. We said Chinese people don't talk properly, which is a little bit
offensive.
Yeah. You know what I mean, Karl?
Well, they don't know.
Right, okay, let's leave it now.
Okay, stop there, Karl. Karl does not necessarily reflect the opinions of XFM or any other human being.
If you think that me and Steve have been offensive, we are strongly behind the guise of irony, satire, and ignorance. Karl only has ignorance and hate.
Yes.
No, but as long as you say something good about someone, you can also say something bad about them.
How does that work? Go on, and give us an example.
Well, Chinese,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Great people, right?
Good.
The women really good looking as younger people.
No! What are you doing?
I'm just saying, as long as you know what I mean, there's good and bad and everything.
For every
What are the
positive
old
and
ones
negative.
like?
They don't age well.
What do you mean?
The fella in Karate Kid, the teacher, was only about 36.
We started this. We started this. Oh.
Fact. So, songs of phrase, email in, ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk, right?
I mean, I have to say, Karl, it's very tricky this week. You've got some very obscure sounding songs there.
Yeah, just all we want is the artists.
I think just the song, Karl, mate.
I think that's
hard. That's hard. Yeah, the artist.
Just the artist, I know.
Okay, so these are the prizes this week.
Well, let's play it again so they can hear it. Try and work out all the different artists.
Yeah, why don't they play
the game of
swing ball?
Right.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why.
tricky.
It is tricky.
That is tricky.
That is good.
But there's some great prizes, including, Carl, I can't help but notice, torn from the current, well, I think today's issue of the Daily Mirror.
What, he's giving away a giveaway?
It's a free CD from the Daily Mirror, which you can buy it, you spend 30p on the Mirror, you can get this anyway. But it's still in the piece of plastic that it came in. I love
it's
that.
ripped.
Anyway, there are some other treats for
Oh, you'll be loving getting that through the door.
So there's the Jingly Jangly Sound of Summer, Good Vibes, a 2 CD set featuring music from Crowded House, R.E.M., Simon and Garfunkel and the Beach Boys.
I'll tell you what, I've thought of another game. We can put Carl's into theory, right? I can tell him a sort of like a person or, you know, a people or a place, right? Or a profession, and he's got to come up with a good and bad.
A good and bad thing.
It is dicing with death.
Yeah.
Are we ready to do this?
Well, listen, if we're quitting in the next couple of weeks, then who cares?
Okay. Good and bad, right?
Well, hang on, whoa, let me just
good and-
we're on the prizes here.
Alright, okay.
So now 55. I know there's a
Okay.
lot of XFM listeners who are going to be looking forward to the likes of S Club 8 and the Fast Food Rockers. They're all on there.
I can't wait. What is their second single going to be about?
The Smashing Pumpkins. This is quite a good little compilation of sort of B-sides and live performances and stuff like that, which is not bad. The best summer holiday album in the world ever. I think we've given that away in the past. All sorts of stuff on there. Plus the director's cut of True Romance on DVD. The Tarantino scripted.
Oh, it's a great film.
Tony Scott
There's some
directed movie.
oh.
So there's some quite good prizes. Just play it once more.
So email in ricky.gervais, XFM.
Why don't they play the game of swing ball?
Just the artist, yeah? That's all we're after.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right,
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Play the game of swing.
Very tricky.
Brilliant.
Very,
That
very
is
tricky.
brilliant.
Right, bung the song on. I'll bung the song on now.
What?
Let's put a song on. Bit of Pharrell Williams.
Yes.
Good and bad, good and bad. Old people. Darkness. I believe in a thing called love on XFM 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Karl set the ball rolling with songs of phrase. Why don't they play swing ball? Referring, of course, to people in wheelchairs who play tennis, because he was disappointed they weren't getting around the court quickly enough. So why didn't they play swing ball?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Someone just emailed in saying because if they hit it to the top, they won't be able to reach it to unravel it.
Exactly.
Which is a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, nonetheless, good and bad in people in wheelchairs. Do you want to do that? Good and bad things about people in wheelchairs.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
Suppose. Don't know really. They take up less room in cinemas. They've got their own seat.
Good.
That's good, is it?
That's a good thing.
Yeah, good. Yeah, well done. Well done.
And what's bad?
Don't know. I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
But well, let's leave that, eh?
You started it. Snoop Doggy Dogg from 1993. And What's My Name?
Long time ago.
It was indeed.
10 years ago.
XFM 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. Songs of phrase. We've had very, very few entries. I really think people aren't interested. They really have just given up. I mean, seriously,
That's
I don't
the
mean
one thing.
disrespectful.
That's the one thing you contributed to this show, Carl, and it's the weak link. I
the
think
missing link.
in the chain. The missing link. Oh, do you reckon there is one, Carl? Do you reckon they'll ever find the missing link? Wandering around Manchester.
Wait a minute, Carl. The stats then. Let's have the answers, if we can.
Right. It was
Well, let's
specials.
play it once more.
All right.
Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why.
Specials.
Yep. Jermaine
Play
Jackson.
the game of swing.
Right. It was Play the Game of Love. I think that was Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders.
Right, you think, but you're not sure.
Louis Armstrong was the Don't Mean a Thing if it ain't got that swing.
Yeah.
And Queen, Don't Stop Me Now, We're Having a Good Time, and that.
We're having a ball.
We're having a ball.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, considering you yourself weren't entirely clear, I think it's only fair to give it to Paul Brown, who got some of the answers right.
PB, you are getting those prizes.
Well
they
done,
are
Pete.
on their way
They're
to you
winning their
now.
way.
Carl, what are you thinking, mate?
Right, Rockbusters, that's what I'm thinking.
Straight to it. Straight to it. Go on then. Who's the winner?
Right,
Oh, go on.
well-
Do the clues again.
Right, the first one was, the hitchhiker needs a lift, but in something bigger than a car.
Yeah. Snappy. Go on.
VH.
Yeah.
Right, that was Van Halen,
Van Halen, Halen a van.
because he wanted something bigger than a car. That's the first one.
Yeah.
All the
Second one.
tenses are mixed up. Everything. It's just. Go on.
Second one, don't be selfish, and some of that out to your mates. That was C, that was share. Right. It's alright.
Yep.
And the third one, the Scottish fellas can't get into their emails. The initials there, KL. They, Kenny Loggins.
Right. That's the last time we do blockbusters. That is the last time we do it.
No.
It is. That's
the
the last time. Venus in Furs. Velvet Underground. What a great start. What a classic
I mean,
song.
they continue to sound fresh and contemporary.
It's just, do you know what that song's about, Carl?
No.
M&S. M&S.
It's about M&S.
You know that?
Yeah.
You know the shop?
Yeah.
It's all about that.
Yeah.
Whiplash, Smile and all that. All the things you can get at Marks and Spencer's.
Shiny boots of leather.
Yeah. Being whipped.
Yeah. I think that's a new division they've opened.
Yeah, but we have got a great show lined up, haven't
Have we? No, go
we
on.
know we have. No, because we've got Rockbusters coming up. The great
What,
new
looking
quiz.
forward to that.
That's made the press.
Has it?
Yeah. Frimley Tea Rooms newsletter mentioned it. We've also got
That's Carl's local, isn't it?
yeah. We've also got Educating Ricky, where Carl educates me. The one last week, a girl, right? She was deaf, and she was having an argument with her mum, and she pushed her and she hit her head, and then she can hear again.
Yeah.
Don't know what I learned from that.
No.
but it might be subliminal. Someone might be going. It might be a metaphor that I will learn from.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know,
a parable.
Yeah. So look at his face. We
So,
might as well be talking Dutch, mightn't we, Carl? Say something quick. It's radio.
I don't understand what you want from me.
Oh, we're only joking.
Right, so, Educating Ricky, I've worked a bit harder this week. We've got some good stuff.
Okay.
I'll give you the
Teaser headlines later.
headlines in a bit.
Yeah.
So you've got Rockbusters as well.
Carl's having a bit of a stressful week because he thinks he's not appreciated because he gets in at what times you get in? About 8 or 9, don't you?
Last week, I've been busy this week. I've been in at about 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, and you've been leaving when?
About 8:30, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, you're in Saturday.
Yeah, I'm in now.
You get paid, don't you?
I'm busy at home at
A
the
lot of
moment.
people work late, Carl. A lot of people work 12-hour days.
Why are you busy at home, Carl? What are you up to?
Because we're trying to sort out a move.
Uh-huh.
I've been trying to call round this morning to get someone to buy a futon and a table from me.
Yes. Well, we could put that appeal out now, couldn't we? If anyone wants to buy a futon or a table.
Do you think a futon that Carl Pilkington slept on?
How much you asking?
Whatever.
Well, you need
for
to
the
be well,
two. You've got to take the two. I don't want like different people coming round and that.
Sure, wasting
You've
your
got to
time.
buy a futon on a table.
It's quite specific, isn't it? Someone has to want a futon.
Yeah.
The specific futon you're
It's
selling
like
and
a
the
tea's
table.
made, isn't it? Alarm clock and tea maker. This is futon and table.
Looking for about 100 quid.
And it's good condition, the futon.
Yeah.
Right, no
Not dribbled
stains,
on it?
you haven't pissed
No.
yourself in the... no.
No,
Right.
nothing? And what kind of table, what sort of table are we talking? Are we talking like a table for a lounge, a dining table?
No, for like a computer and just something.
Has it got any drawers? Are there any drawers? There's no
No,
drawers.
it's just a nice wooden table.
Right, is it kind of oak or is it sort of an IKEA sort of thing?
No, it's like oakish.
It's oakish.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 100 quid.
The futon is just a mattress and the pallets. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. You see, you get cheap futons, don't you?
This is a
But
good one,
this
is
is
it?
a good one. It's
How much would that have retailed for when you
I
purchased
think
it?
I paid about $2.50 for
Right,
it.
so it's a bargain.
Well,
for people.
if you look at it, if you
And how long have you had it? How old
This
is
is
it?
a whole new strand.
Well,
isn't
I'm
it?
thinking
I
this
don't
is a
think it's
great-
legal. I don't think we should use.
I'll tell you what I'm interested in Rick, is just finding out a little bit about the sort of thing that Carl's got in his home, you know.
I'm interested in if people will phone up to spend £100 just to go round
Carl's house,
No,
yeah.
no, I won't be. No.
What?
No, they'll come here. I'll bring it to work, and they can pick it up here. Don't
I'm going to bring a
well, they can meet you.
futon and a table to work. Don't you ride a bike
So hold
to
on, we
work?
need someone with a van now.
Yeah.
So we need. Is anyone who wants to? But they're not allowed around your house. Can they meet you next door? Someone with a van.
Could they meet you in your street somewhere?
Hold on, could they meet you?
What
With
if you-
hold on, what about the little Chinese fellow that lives across the road on the two bouncers and the old woman who's dead reading a book? Could you meet him
I've
somewhere?
got an idea. What about if you meet at the end of your street, you blindfold them, like they do when terrorists take the negotiator to the hideout,
the big cheese.
and so you could say that, and so you know they could piece together maybe where you live
With
from the
sounds.
sounds and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But, what about that, Carl? That's just a great idea.
Yeah.
And would you sign the futon for people, do you think? Would you give them a little signature? Or maybe at least a
Sign
bill
the
of
pallet,
purchase?
couldn't you? You could sign the pallet.
Yeah. Or I could try and get work to buy it off me, and then we give it away for Rockbusters.
Do you think they do that? Do you think they do that? I think they'd probably do it for Foxy with his big.
Well, imagine
hog.
how big that would
Imagine
be.
if he wanted to sell his hog.
Yeah. That is a motorbike, isn't it?
Yeah. He's been selling his hog for money for years, hasn't he? Oh dear.
So, well, we'll see about that. See
So, if people are interested, maybe email ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk if you're interested in a futon.
Buy Carl's
and-
futon
and, a
competition.
table.
£100 ONO.
Exactly.
Yeah? Yeah?
What gear have we got anyway?
I never knew what that meant. ONO. I thought it went sort of on
no.
the nose.
Oh, no. On the
On the nose.
Oh, that's good, yeah. Richard Ashcroft. Check the meaning. Well, Carl, you're chuffed, aren't you? What's happened? What's just happened? Tell the listeners what's
This
happened.
is sparked you up a bit.
Steve's just called up. He's putting an offer for the futon and the table.
Yeah.
I think he definitely wanted it, but I said, look, think about it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Give
Well,
us
you're
a
not a
call.
hustler.
No, well, I'm not going to rush him into it, because once he's got it, he can't bring it back. I'm not messing about.
No.
The
So
bloke said, what sort of wood is it? Carl said, sort of like a light brown colour. He went, what, beach coloured? Carl went, depends what beach you're on. Which was nice.
You do understand there's a wood that's called beach.
well, he's happy. He likes the sound of it. Nice plum cover. He's going to be.
Yeah. It's Carl going, I go with Magnolia, he walks him he's just going, I'll tell you what, looked nice in his spare bedroom. It was like an episode of Changing Rooms. It was like listening to an episode of Carl.
He did the deal in under 3 minutes, wasn't it?
It was pretty good, didn't he?
He phoned you about halfway through in that song, so you worked pretty quick, Carl, I gotta say. It's your Manx scally way.
I'm sure we're not allowed to do this, though.
No, I think it's highly criminal.
Yeah.
Have you got anything? That you getting?
Well, I'll tell you, I am moving shortly, so I mean, I might come in next week. I could have a couple of
I
drinks,
threw away a desk the other day.
I gotta get rid of a bed, a chair, because I'm pretty tall. This is so pathetic. when I moved up to London, my dad said, well, you want to be careful, because I mean, the seating in a lot of these London pads, it's bad seating, very low back, it's fashionable, isn't it? Fashionable chairs and stuff. You're a big guy, 6'7", you need like a decent chair. We went to a shop, it was like a second-hand furniture shop, right? I bought this chair, very high backed.
Why did you buy that? For a solo, I love that.
It's just a chair, so I could sit in my room and watch TV.
But was it a soft chair, or was it a wooden chair?
It was kind of like a sort of, well, let me explain, because it's kind of like an armchair, but it's kind of got wooden arms. So I get this chair, I bring it up to London, I'm thinking, this is a great chair, this is a wonderful chair. I'm gonna be watching TV, everyone else is going in agony.
Pipe,
but I've got this lovely chair, right? And I brought it out, and someone went, they looked at it, they went, isn't that an orthopaedic chair? And I looked at it again, right, and I realised it's kind of white cleanable. It's made of some kind of fabric that allows you to just mop it down with a wet cloth.
Why?
Because I think it came from an old people's home.
Oh.
You know when you see, like, old people in some kind of social room in an old people's home, just sat watching a little crappy old TV, and you can wipe everything clean. It's one of those chairs.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So if anyone's, maybe they've got an elderly
Didn't you
relative.
keep slipping off?
And it's also the most uncomfortable chair, because unless you've got chronic back pain, it's just the most uncomfortable chair. It makes you sit bolt upright, if not slightly forward.
You've done a good sell on it. I think either the phones are going mental.
Well,
How much do you want for that, Steve?
If you've had a recent accident, or you've got a disabled, or someone in the house who's just elderly, then you might want to get in touch. I'm happy to. You can take that off, man, for 25 quid.
This is so wrong.
25 quid. I'll take that. Whether you're setting up an old people's home, it's a little pet project.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of grant. We can help.
Exactly.
We can I mean, and because though Steve's such a high flyer, I mean, if it really is a good cause, they just give it to you.
Well, let's not rush into anything, really. I like to assess each case, individually.
Yeah,
but certainly if you are a charity, then I might go for 20 quid. You take it off my hands for 20 quid. But otherwise 25. And I tell you, it's in a good condition, because I haven't really sat on it.
5 quid off if you really are.
And there were some stains. I've wiped them clean.
Oh dear. Well, that's fantastic. So we've
I'll tell you what we should resuscitate next week. Swap Shop. The multicoloured swap shop.
Honestly,
It's a great format.
But there's a couple of things I've always wanted to get my house. Swap Shop is one of them, and the other one is Superstars.
I don't remember Superstars.
Superstars was great because it was like the people of their time. So you'd have like people like nowadays. You'd have Beckham and what's his name? He was a tennis player. Is it?
Rosetsky.
Yeah, and they have to compete. So all these people have to compete at each other's sports. And they have to choose 7 out of 10 sports. And there's a leaderboard, and there's a big final. Old Keegan came off his bike.
It's
Brian
not
Jacks
like
always
it's
used to win
knockout.
it. No, it's real sports.
It's
Proper sports. It's 100 metres, tennis, weightlifting, all the real sports. You can't do your own sport.
Well, I know you're a pretty big guy now in British TV. You're a bit of a big shot. What do you reckon? Pull some strings?
Let's get it back on there.
Let's get it back on there. Superstars, sounds fantastic.
Me, Johnny Vegas, Peter Kay, for the bigger fella, I think maybe the comedy superstars. What we got next? We've got a bit of Springsteen, haven't we?
Let's play Springsteen. This is a track from his current album, The Rising. A lot of people think Bruce is a bit MOR, a bit middle of the road or whatever, but, you know, I just think, piss off.
Yeah.
I just think, screw you. Let's play it.
Yeah, get lost,
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Imagine this, you're open top, caddy,
Yeah,
you're just
driving
going
across
around
country.
Route 66, you're going home maybe for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
To see your folks.
just
Just
struck
turn
me.
up the radio, if you are.
Play the tune.
Probably
Carl.
not, though.
That just reminded me when I brought so stop it for a second. Just realised when I brought a woman
Absolute
back
shambles.
and she saw the orthopaedic chair. You bring a woman back to your pad. Oh, it's embarrassing.
And the harness.
Yeah.
And,
the truss.
Yeah, can you give me those 2 splints? I'm sorry? Those 2 splints there. Well, I've got to go, have you?
Is this a potty under the bed?
Breaks up.
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Funny word, isn't it? It's a
really-
funny word.
what other
isn't it?
funny
I know.
words are there,
Although
Carl?
XFM's a funny word, I just say the letters out because the word doesn't make sense.
Just, let me just check Richard Anderson's email again, just remind myself of...
Go on.
Ricky, your show is appalling. Richard Anderson, thanks. What I like about, Dickie Anders is that he's obviously so angry, he's so annoyed by the show, that he's bothered to email just to get the venom out. Because otherwise you'd just think you'd switch over.
Well,
he's obviously so annoyed, he's
he knows
switched on the
he knows
computer,
how to hurt someone
log
as
on.
well.
Exactly, he's really taken the time out
Because I'm thinking
to show his disapproval.
of giving up.
I'll tell you what though, it is pretty hard to listen to.
What this?
Yeah.
I've listened back to the tape, that when you're making that thing for the best of,
Yeah.
and I mean, I sounded like Albert Tatlock. I really sounded like some sort of punch-drunk stroke victim. And oh, there you go. I was going to say, I don't remember myself like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do apologise. It's not a great planned show, slick word of articulate sentence, is it? But I mean, then, who is?
But I think, I mean, there's so many shows that are, you know, nowadays on radio. I think there's a lot of stuff that's heavily formatted, you know, and there's with, you know, I don't know, presenters who are professional and have got some sort of degree of talent.
Yeah.
And ability to sort of string a sentence together. You know, I'm thinking Chris Moyles.
Yeah,
predominantly.
yeah. But I mean, I'm bored with those
Yeah,
slick people.
exactly.
You know, I think we need a little bit of Carl
Hey,
in our life.
I'm just thinking actually, I've just suddenly struck me, if you want to get rid of your furniture,
Got a buyer.
you've already got a buyer.
I've got a buyer.
Because if there's any other stuff, we were clearing some stuff out of our place recently, and we just dumped some stuff outside on the street, because we were going to take it and take it to the tip later. Just dump some stuff outside. And I have never seen so many people come out of the woodwork scavenging through our garbage. It was incredible. They were like zombies.
Well, that's what I was
They
saying.
were like flies around shit. It
but
was
when I
crazy.
said to Carl,
That's what you should just do. Just dump it outside,
When he
because
went-
it'll get taken.
when he went, he said, do you think I asked enough, 100? I went, yes, definitely. He went, oh, I could ask what? I said, no, don't do that. I said, because you'll end up having to pay the council and take it away. He said, I wouldn't. He said, I'd rather just dump it and that little homeless fella have it. And then he went, imagine the little homeless fella sitting at the desk.
Can you imagine, right, I walk past, he's sat outside Hearts, right, the little 24-hour shop, he's sat outside there and he goes, have you got any change? And I go, I can do better than that.
Yeah, here's a chair and table.
Here's
It's a futon.
Yeah.
A futon, no less. Not your boring bed, but a trendy, yeah.
Well, but the thing is, amazing the number of people that would stop to look at our junk. There was a car driving by with a family and kids, perfectly respectable, just driving past, you know, on their way to somewhere, stopped, got out, got the kids out of the car, come on kids, let's just look through this junk. But I like the
You
idea
said
that...
we were going to Walton Towers,
Yeah.
Dad.
No, sorry, no time. We're not going to the
This
zoo.
is-
Let's
this
look
isn't
through
go-
this rubbish.
We're not going looking at people's rubbish
Put
again,
his
are
gloves
we?
on, look through this shit.
Ow! That's a
Yeah,
needle.
that's a needle. It was, I mean, who does that? It was like a Saturday afternoon. Kids were just going to go and look through some rubbish. And one guy, this is the most incredible one, one guy, I caught him going through the bins as I came in. I said, alright, what are you doing? He was one of those homeless guys who likes to remain dignified.
Why did you say, what are you doing?
Well,
because it was my house. I had to go past. I had to squeeze
He
past
wasn't in your
him.
kitchen.
He was in our front garden.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, going through rubbish. He'd torn the bags open. He was going through it. I said to him, "What are you up to?" He went, "Oh yeah, just looking at stuff. Don't worry. I'll clean it all up afterwards. Just looking for a few odds and ends." Blah, 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 blah. I said, "Oh well, you can take what you want. You know, it's all going away." "Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks." Yeah. So he went off. Right, I didn't think anything of it. I was walking past the shops the following day. There's a little sort of kind of 7-Eleven. Right, I was walking past. I thought, "Oh, that's interesting. A Gil Scott Heron album for sale." And I looked. I thought, "Wait a minute. This is all our rubbish." And the guy had set up like a little car boot sale outside the 7-Eleven on the pavement. He'd taken our junk. He'd marked on prices. There's like an old RAC book from 1976 that had been lying in the house. A Yellow Pages. You know, and he'd marked up the
How much
prices.
is Yellow
and
Pages?
So I'm glad you asked.
What year was that
50p.
from?
I snapped it up. I thought that's a bargain. And it was incredible. He had the cheek of just selling our junk.